Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third video, doing the ECMWF extended forecast for today's third video. So we're going to be looking at mean sea level pressure, 500 millibar height, temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 6 weeks. It will take us well into April, and I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Ultra long range forecasting. Typically these videos are released on a Saturday morning at the channel. But tomorrow morning I'm going to give you the second and final spring 2021 season 1 roundup. So we get 15 long range ones together in that one and see what we're all showing for the spring ahead of our spring forecast that we're going to release on Sunday. So I've had to push this one back to Friday evening. So, yeah, I'll get on with it for you in a moment. Just to say that GMA Friday and the 10 to 14 day update has been released. So have a look at those two videos when you're done with this one. I'm going to be live streaming tonight after 10 o'clock. We're going to have our last Friday night live stream for a while anyway. They will come back, but, you know, just have a bit of a break for a little while and wind things down a bit. So, yeah, Giddy Gav, we'll see you after 10 o'clock tonight. We'll have a bit of a laugh after 10. And of course, we'll be live streaming the GFS pub run as well, aka the 18Z. Right, so let's get on with the video then. We're going to start off with mean sea level pressure anomalies for week 1. This is going to take us from the 1st through to the 8th of March. The coming week, we'll have a lot of high pressure dominating across the northern and also western parts of Europe. High pressure will be in control in the week ahead. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows, again, above average heights, which extrapolates back to high pressure, extending across most parts of North and West Europe. Deep trough low pressure in the east of Europe, that's going to be bringing winter to those east and southeastern parts of Europe, but most places will be under a ridge of high pressure, looking mainly dry and fine. Temperature anomalies for week 1 from the 1st through to the 8th of March. You're going to be mild and average across Northern Europe and also across the west, southwest Europe, northwest parts of the UK and Ireland also mild and average. A little bit cooler than average just to our east, so that could be indicative of a bit of an easterly flow moving in from off the North Sea, perhaps bringing something a little bit colder to those eastern coastal areas. See the real cold though, the real cold temperatures over on the eastern side of Europe, all the way down from northwest Russia to Greece and Turkey, substantially colder than average through there. Precipitation anomalies shall be 1st through to the 8th of March. You're going to be driving average, as you would expect, with high pressure dominating the scene. So, you know, a very quiet week coming up to the first week of March and first week of mid-Joshua spring. High pressure will be dominating, and that should bring mostly fine conditions. Week 2, mean sea level pressure anomaly looks like this. Bit of a change. Trough of low pressure plunging into Scandinavia and northern parts of Europe. High pressure pulling out into the middle of the Atlantic. The jet stream going on a northwest-southeast alignment. So turning cooler and more unsettled through the 2nd week of March. We're bringing the wind in probably from a northwesterly, maybe even rather northerly direction. So yeah, cool and unsettled week there, most definitely. Week 2, 500 millibar height anomaly shows the above average heights of high pressure pulling out into the North Atlantic, below average heights to our north-northeast. We send the jet stream on a northwest-southeast alignment. Cool, well, significantly cooler and unsettled then for the 2nd week of March. Temperature anomalies should be dropping here. Indeed they are. It's not going particularly cold, but it certainly cools off in week 2 compared to week 1 with a reversion back to near normal temperatures. Just cool average just to our west, of course. Probably more unsettled week as well. Precipitation anomalies, we lose that significantly dry on average weather and we revert again close to average. So I think that's a cooler and more unsettled week with a northwest-southeast alignment to the jet stream. Right, week 3 will take us from the 15th to 22nd of March. Weakening signals already, but low pressure appearing just to the north of Scotland. So again, could be a little bit on the unsettled side, probably rather westerly and unsettled with back to them. Week 3, 500 millibar height anomaly shows high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north, and that will bring in the winds from the westerly direction. Could be rather unsettled, probably near normal temperatures. The week 3 temperature anomaly actually goes a little bit milder than average, so there must be a bit of a southwesterly tilt to the wind in week 3. The precipitation anomaly from the 15th, 22nd of March was still a bit wetter than average, so it's a more unsettled week. It's milder, but it's more unsettled there as we go into the second half of March with slightly above average rainfall. Right, rattling through today, aren't we? This is week 4, 22nd, 29th of March. Again, pretty weak signals. We've got some lower pressure though over or through Scandinavia into northeast Europe. Otherwise, not much else work. Got some higher pressure towards Greenland and Newfoundland. Week 4, 500 millibar height anomaly still looks a little bit westerly, really. Low pressure or below average heights to the north, above average heights to our south. Winds again in from the west, so rather westerly and Atlantic driven into second half of March. Temperature anomalies look rather mild and average for southern parts of England, Wales and Ireland anyway, a little bit cooler than average though to the north of Scotland. Most parts of Europe look very mild though. The week for precipitation anomaly still a little bit on the unsettled side, if anything, so rather unsettled second half to March, if this is right, after a drier sort of first half. The second half is more unsettled. It's relatively mild, but there is some rain around. Week 5 is the 29th of March to the 5th of April. This takes us up to Easter. We'll have low pressure then over and just to the western coast. So that could be rather unsettled, but could be very unsettled for the end of March into the beginning of April. Not sure what's sending that low pressure south. There's no particular sign of high pressure sort of blocking in the northern latitudes, but with low pressure like just to the southwest of us, I would have thought the jet stream must be moving southwards a little bit there at the end of March. Let's see if a 500 millibar height only reveals more. So again, we see the ridge moving over onto the eastern side of Europe. That's going to drag up mild air to the east of Europe, of course. Higher pressure, a ridge around Greenland and towards Newfoundland. And again, this trough low pressure almost parked over top of the country. That's not particularly good signals for Easter, really. It looks like that could be quite an unsettled Easter indeed. The week 5 temperature anomaly is showing no particular signal. Still a little bit milder to our southwest, but otherwise, relatively weak signal for temperature, really, as you'd expect in 5 weeks' time. And precipitation anomaly is quite weak, but again, still hinting at being a bit wetter than average. So not great, is it? Rather unsettled for Easter. And then finally, week 6, which is the 5th through to the 12th of April, looks like that. Absolutely no signal to work with whatsoever from a mean cell pressure anomaly. Week 6, 500 millibar height anomaly. Again, not much of a signal, but what we can see here is that we've got a ridge over across eastern, southern and southeastern parts of Europe. We also have a ridge in the middle of the North Atlantic back to Newfoundland. In between, there's no sign of a particular trough of low pressure. There's got to be a trough somewhere, so there could be a bit of a trough through there, actually, which again would place it quite close to our part of the North Atlantic and Northern Europe. The week 6 temperature anomaly, again, not much of a signal really to work with. And week 6 precipitation anomaly, again, no particular signal. So it looks like the first half of March are going to be relatively anticyclonic, relatively fine conditions through the first half of March. Then we go into something much more unsettled into the second half of March, maybe quite wet, and that could carry us on up to Easter. And then beyond that, it really is very, very, very speculative indeed. Right, so that's how it's looking this week. We'll do it all over again next week. Next week's ECMWF 42-day forecast will be on Saturday morning, back in its regular sort of time slot. But for this one, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later on for the Friday night live stream, the last one for a little while. So if you're around after 10, then we'll have a bit of a laugh. We'll live stream the pub run, the GFS 18Z, for the last time this season. And yeah, I shall see you after 10 o'clock. But for this video, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.